Hello, Tammy here, and welcome to my bookshelf. Today I finally decided to do the newbie tag that I hear so much about. I got these questions specifically off of the following channels: Yard of Random Books and Books I'm Not Reading. However, I'd also like to give a shout out to MJ at Reading This Life. She has a wonderful channel. I have found her very helpful in helping me navigate the booktube world. I do have another channel. It is a crafting and dog collecting channel, but it is a different community over there. I like both communities, let me say that. I like them both. It's just a little bit different. And so I have also found her channel to be super helpful, and she has mentioned multiple times that if you are a new book YouTuber, you should do this newbie tag. So here I am. Question number one was, why did you start this channel? I have a few reasons for starting this channel. The main one I would say is that I have been on in the doll collecting and crafting community for many years. I have an established channel over there, but I really wanted to do something else in addition to. But I like to write and I like to read, and I have actually a number of nonfiction books out. Additionally, I'm working on a nonfiction academic book right now about Jane Austen's derivatives, and I realize how important it is for authors to have a social media presence. And for somebody like myself, it takes years to build that. So I thought, you know what, I better just get to it. So here I am. The next question asked, what are some of the fun and unique things that you bring to the channel? I don't know if it's really fun, but I would say I'm bringing a unique perspective from someone who is over 40, we'll say. And this is not to dismiss those who are under 40, but my experience with YouTube has always been, and I see this very much in the book realm as well, the younger you are, the more you are pushed out by the algorithm. So while there are some really good YouTubers out there that I do follow who are in their 20s and 30s, it is not that easy to find, we will call us mature YouTubers, and especially it seems to be the case in Booktube. But if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. The next question was, what are you most excited about as far as starting your channel? And for me, I love literature and I love writing, and I do have a few friends that I can talk to. One in particular, Starches and Stitches, I'm giving you a shout out. Okay, Karen over at Starches and Stitches, she and I actually Zoom together and talk writing, and it was actually kind of because of that too. That was also an impetus for me to do this. I love to talk about the books I've read. I want to do it more. The next question is, why do you love reading? For me, reading is a relaxing escapism. As a young kid, I was not very athletic. I was a skinny, nearsighted, little scrawny thing with braces. And so a trip to the library made me happy, and being able to escape in a fictional world still has a comforting feeling for me. So the other question was, what book series got you into reading? And I would have to say from memory, which, you know, is pretty young, I think it was Laura Ingalls Wilder's Little House on the Prairie series. I remember finding that series in my school library and reading each one of them, really enjoying them. So the other question was, a question about what questions I would ask other book YouTubers. And I think for me, again, because I'm a noob into this area, I'm open to suggestions as far as strategies to grow my channel. I'm also curious about why I don't see a lot of people doing book reviews. I'm doing them and they seem to be something that it's not very popular. So yeah, why is that? The next question was, what do I think is going to be the hardest as far as challenges go? Obviously, time management is one. I have another channel and I have a fairly decent following over there, so I don't want to lose that. Also, I have a full-time job as a teacher, so there's that. And then finally, I think the balance of, you know, creating videos that I like to make, but also people like to watch. Okay, I think we are on question 8, which was, how old were you when you started reading? from what I can remember, remember I'm over 40, so my memory's kind of, from what I remember, I think I was around 5 or 6 years old. At that point in time, I do have a memory, an epiphany moment when I realized that stories and books were written by people. And at that moment, I realized I wanted to do that. So I would say, I remember in first grade, so I would have been 5 or 6 years old, having this realization that I wanted to write stories. I liked what I read, and I wanted to do that too. So on to question 9, which was, where do you read? And so for me, I am very much addicted to audibles. I like to listen to it whenever I'm driving to work, back and forth to work, or going anyplace. Sadly, that means I don't listen to a lot of music, but I get a lot of, audibles reading done. And I also ride my bike. I try to ride at least 4 to 5 times a week. And when I do, again, instead of listening to music, I'm listening to audibles. And as far as physically reading a book, for pleasure, not for work purposes, because as a teacher, obviously, I read a lot for enjoyment reading. I tend to read in the evenings, and so that's typically, maybe in my home office or, on the couch at night when everybody else has gone to sleep. I usually try to sneak in about a half hour to an hour, if I'm lucky, of nighttime reading. So finally, question 10 asks, what type of books do I like to read? And I have a lot of different types of genres I like. Definitely, I'm very into the classics around the 19th century, Regency period classics. Anything with, Jane Austen, the Brontes, Thomas Hardy, I'm totally on board with that. As far as contemporary work, I really like the works of Karen Russell. She's a favorite author of mine. She has three collections of short stories and a novel called Swamplandia. She has a unique take. I would call her work literary fiction. And then I also like a good old mature chick lit type of book where, the older married woman something's happened. Maybe her husband's passed away unexpectedly, or she has a divorce, and now she has to change her life. So like I said, I would call that mature chick lit. So a few other examples of contemporary works that I have read that I enjoy. Where the Crawdads Sing, that's coming out in a movie pretty soon, or actually I think it's out now. Okay. Remarkable Creatures, The Murmur of Bees. Those are some newer works that are not necessarily classics. I would call them maybe literary fiction, some of them women's fiction. And so that tends to be my literary fictional taste. Well, I hope you found this interesting. Seemed like kind of a lot to talk about. Most of my videos have not really been that long on this channel, so I might have to do quite a bit of editing to cut this down. But I hope you find it interesting, and let me know if you have any questions down below based on anything I talked about, or yeah, whatever. Thank you again for stopping by to see what's on my bookshelf. Bye-bye.